baseball, dreams, and family. If you're new to the show, I'm John Gonzalez, the dad, and joining us today on the live stream of Big League Dreaming is son number one and son number two. Let's go out to North Carolina, South Carolina, somewhere in the Carolinas. It's Zach Gonzalez, our Mariners fan. Zach, how you doing over there?
I'm doing great. Yep, down in South Carolina, visiting my wife's family, doing some Fourth of July stuff out by the pool. So life is good this weekend. Kids are happy.
Life is good. Well, you'll be happy for me to report the Westgate neighborhood here in Grand Rapids, Comstock Park area. It's typical. There you could tell there was a lot of fireworks last night. So true to form, it was pretty loud here throughout the
Nice.
evening on the 4th of July. Son number two is near Grand Rapids, just south. It is Ty Gonzalez, our Mets. I almost said Red Sox. Our Mets fan. How you doing, Ty?
I'm doing awesome. Yeah, I'm excited to have a few days off from work, chat with you guys on this live stream this morning about some baseball. I've actually been watching the Whitecaps a lot on TV at home. So I've been keeping up with them. They got a lot of good players.
Yeah, I was bummed I couldn't make it out there Thursday night on Thirsty Thursday because would have been a good chance to catch this team that probably won't stick together for a while. They're going to be moving on pretty soon. We need to do a show really quick about the Whitecaps because it's loaded with talent and they're moving up the Tigers farm system and really solidify why the Tigers are the number one farm system in Major League Baseball. So we can talk about that another day. But on this live stream, just wrapping up 4th of July, what did you do, Ty? Because I know you're living in a new neighborhood. So do you guys have a fun time out down south there, down south of Grand Rapids?
Yeah, we went out to the lake and went on the boat and kind of hung out there for a little bit. So we kind of just chilled and then it wasn't too crazy here in this neighborhood for the fireworks. It kind of everything stopped strictly at 11, so it was kind of nice. It wasn't like
Well,
3 a.m. like our old place. Our old place, they're doing fireworks till 2, 3 in the morning.
yeah, and it starts like 2 or 3 days before because your mom called me because I was out of town and she's like, "It's already starts Monday and it's already going." I'm like, "Yep." And then I love the random like noon. You big. Something goes off at noon. You're like, it's not even dark.
Oh yeah,
You remember those rando days like that?
yeah.
Just happens here in Westgate. Anyway, thanks again, folks, for joining us here on the live stream. Today's topic is the Major League Baseball All Star Game 2025 taking place in Atlanta at Truist. Is it Truist Field, Zach, or Truist Park?
Oh man, I always mix them up because we're the other one in Charlotte. So I'm pretty sure it's Truist Park in Atlanta. We're
I
Truist Field in
I
Charlotte.
think it is. Well, we'll look it up in here in a second because we're going to share some. We're going to go over the starters for both the American League and the National League. They were announced this week, and it's exciting because it's kind of a build up to the game, which is taking place July 15th in Atlanta at Truist Park Field. Uh, they renamed it, but there's a lot of activities going on. Zach, you probably of everyone on the Big League Dreaming. You've been to it and you know what it's all about. We'll go to you about the details. But I should mention son number three is not joining us today. He's prepping for a baseball tournament in South Bend, Indiana. So he is Zane Gonzalez. He is our Red Sox fan. He might join us. You never know. I know he was prepping the fields, getting ready for tournament games today. He coaches at Indiana University South Bend as the associate head coach. But during the summer, when the team's not together, he keeps their field busy. I mean, their field is hosting tournaments throughout the summer. So I know he said he had someone filling in for him throughout the summer, but Zane, he loves to pay attention to detail. And it's his field; he's going to take care of it. So that's how he is. But hopefully he'll join us here to talk about the All Star game. So Zach, going back to you, you've been out to the festivities. You went 2 years ago out to Seattle?
Yep, 2 years ago, 2023, in Seattle for all the All Star Village things that they had going on there, and then I went to the Futures game that Saturday, the Saturday before the All Star game and the Home Run Derby, and I'll be doing that again this year. We're going to the Futures game Saturday, that's the 12th, and that'll be super fun. So they have the All Star game is always on a Tuesday, and then the Home Run Derby is always the day before on that Monday night. And then on Sunday is the first two rounds of the MLB draft, and they just started doing that a few years back. It used to be kind of during college baseball playoffs. You would be watching Omaha on TV, and it would say, he was drafted in the first round last week, kind of thing. But now it's always that Sunday, and then they finish the rest of the draft on Monday, the day of the home run derby. Um, but on Saturday is the MLB Futures game. You get to see prospects from all across the minor leagues play an American versus national seven inning game. Directly following the Futures game is the celebrity softball game. So you get to see that. You get tickets to two games for the price of one, and that's the game that they air after the home run derby's completed. So the All Star Village stuff is super fun. I had a really great time. There's just too much to explain. There's too much going on everywhere as far as baseball wise. It's kind of like going to a carnival. That's the best thing I could describe. It's just all baseball everywhere. It's super fun.
Well, I think Big League Dreaming the podcast needs to go to one of these All Star weekends. I already looked up next year. They're in Philadelphia, and both you guys have cousins. A cousin that lives out there, and she was just at a Phillies game, and her husband is a huge Phillies fan. So that might be fun. Let's road trip it to Philadelphia for one of these. Or if the Tigers ever get to host one, because they haven't announced future cities yet. So Detroit, with all the excitement for Detroit and Detroit sports, I wouldn't be surprised if Detroit gets a chance to host one of these All-Star games pretty soon. I mean, they seem to be getting national attention more and more every day. Wouldn't you agree, Ty?
Yeah, they definitely are, especially just with the season they're having. I mean, the first team to 50 wins this season. When did they do the All-Star game? Didn't they do it it's been a while, what, 20 years? '05 maybe? '04?
Yeah, that's true. You're right. It was. We didn't go, but obviously I was so mad that I didn't make it or take you guys down there for that. It had to be 04, 05. We'll have to look that up.
I think it was '05, yeah. But yeah, 20 years. I mean, it's time to go back to Detroit.
Time to go back
Pretty
to
soon it could
Detroit.
happen.
Let's lead the charge. I know, obviously, Zach, you as a Mariners fan were in heaven to have it in Seattle and have the
Oh
baseball
yeah.
world there, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And the time before that was 2001. That was the last time they had it in Seattle. So, you know, 22 years, just like you're saying, Ty. Um, but that would make sense that it would be the early 2000s because what year did Comerica Park open?
It opened in 2000
Yeah.
because, in fact, that Saturday's game on the 12th, I will be at Comerica Park watching the Tigers take on the Mariners. And the giveaway that day, because Saturday is the giveaway day, it's a replica of Comerica Park celebrating
Mm.
25 years.
So, that makes sense that the All Star game would have been a couple of years thereafter. They usually like to show off the new ballpark to, the national stage.
Yeah, well, that'll be a lot of fun. I know we're going to talk about the starters for both the American League and National League. We'll do that here in a second, but don't let me forget. I do want to give Zach an assignment. I know he's going to be going there with his family, so he's not going to want to work really. He's just going to go and enjoy it and take care of the kids. Um, but I've got an assignment for you, and I'll share my screen here when we get to that. But don't let me forget, because I will forget. You know how dads are.
Okay, Dad.
I won't
All
let you
right.
forget.
All right, well, let's run down the American League and National League. And the one thing that has not been announced yet will be the complete roster and who is starting from the pitching. Right, who will be the starting pitcher for both the American League and National League? I think everyone seems to have it figured out by now, but let's go to that in a second. All right, let me share my screen here. Hopefully I clicked the
Gotta be
right button.
Scooble, right?
It's going to be Schoolboy. It has to be, right? All right.
Yeah, it has to be.
So this is on MLB.com. The starters were revealed, and we'll run through the starters right now. The game is at Truist Park. Zach, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
8 p.m. Eastern time on Fox, July 15th, the Midsummer Classic at Truist Park. Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani were the top vote getters in both the American National League, respectively, earning them an automatic starting bid at the game. The complete rosters will be announced Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN,
Tomorrow.
and that's tomorrow. Yeah, holy cow, it's right around the corner. It starts already, right? All right, let's go with the American League. Zach, you probably are, the happiest of all of us to see Big Dumper get a chance to be on the big stage.
Yeah, and on that, I guess that link that you're looking at pulled up right there, it says 33 home runs, but Cal Raleigh hit another 2 home runs last night, Friday night, on the 4th of July. So now he is at 35. The most home runs in a season for a Mariner is 56. Griffey did it twice. And I think they said he's on pace for 65. It's just 60 is very attainable. And now I feel better about our catching episode we did than saying that Cal Raleigh is, you know, could be one of the best catchers of all time. Because even if he doesn't keep up doing what he's doing this year, if he has more 30, 40 home run seasons under his belt, he could definitely be the best power hitting catcher of all time.
No question about it. That was a good call on your part. He's got to be a little more consistent compared to some of the Hall of Famers that we talked about in that episode. And folks, if you want to go back and listen to our take on Major League Baseball our catchers, some of our favorites of all time, you can do that wherever you get your podcast. Right, Ty?
Yeah, Spotify, Apple Podcast, and of course here on YouTube if you are watching live right now. Yeah, check it out after this episode. It was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. So no big surprise there. Cal Raleigh from the Mariners is the starting catcher. I don't think I thought it looks like Alejandro Kirk from the Blue Jays was the runner-up. Speaking of the Blue Jays, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Vladdy, it's his fourth starter selection. He'll be at first base. No surprise there, I would think, right, guys?
Right.
At second base, this was kind of a little bit of a surprise, at least for me. But I'm glad that it would happen, only because Jackson Holliday and the Orioles just have such a national following. But to see Gleyber Torres, get a chance to really redeem himself, come to Detroit for a year and take a chance on contributing to a team that might make the playoffs again. I mean, we're talking about the offseason, right? So Gleyber Torres gets voted in as the starter at second base. It's the first Tiger second baseman to start since 2007, where it was Placido Polanco who was the starter. Zach, you got to be happy for Gleyber Torres, right? I mean, even though he was a former Yankee.
Yeah, but I wanted him to sign with the Mariners in the offseason. And then I was like, well, at least he's going to the Tigers. And then he puts up a starting second baseman All Star season. But yeah, it's exciting. I think a lot of people
Yeah,
saw Jackson
he puts
Holliday
up.
was the other option, and they were like, "Who's that kid?" People around the country, and they're like, "Oh, I'll vote for Gleyber Torres. I know who that is."
Yeah,
This was the first year, as far as the voting, that they kind of pinned two players against each other. So they did like the first wave of voting, and they did a new style this year where the two vote getters of every position, you do a second wave of voting, and you can only vote for one of those two guys. So it was Torres or Holiday. You had to pick one of them. I thought it was a neat little new implementation. I don't know if they'll keep doing that, but I thought it was a pretty cool style of voting this year.
yeah, and it helps build up some rivalries too. I mean, let's face it. I mean, Tigers Orioles that has not been a rivalry, but if all of a sudden you're voting against a Tiger player and you're an Orioles fan, I mean that builds up a little bit of rivalry there. Over at shortstop, it is Jacob Wilson from the Athletics. It's his first year, and he went against talk about a player with a national name, Bobby Witt Jr. from the Royals. I was a little surprised with this one too. How about you, Zach?
Yeah, I think when, obviously Bobby Witt Jr. was the number 2 in MVP last year behind Aaron Judge. If Aaron Judge doesn't have that crazy year last year, Bobby Witt's your MVP. So everybody is well aware who Bobby Witt is, but when you go to vote, it'll have like their average home run RBI like right there beside their name, and it was just undeniable. Jacob Wilson with his, he's almost batting 340, and Bobby Witt's having a down year. I think he was one of those two shortstops just because of his name. It makes sense that they would go with Jacob Wilson, and awesome for him in his first year. as his rookie season to be the starter as at shortstop for the American League. Super cool.
I love this MLB.com article because it says that Wilson is the first A's shortstop to start the All Star game since Bert Campaneris started three straight games from 73 to 75. And I had flashbacks of the catching episode that we did here on Big League Dreaming, the podcast, when Ty's like, I don't even know half these half these names when you start going back to the old days. But Bert Campaneris was one of my favorite players growing up, and the A's were one of my favorite teams. So for me, that's pretty cool. All right, Ty. Speaking of Ty, this guy, I mean, he kills the Tigers. Jose Ramirez at third base for the Guardians.
Yeah, he's just always outstanding. I mean, I saw him play. When did I go to Cleveland? Probably 2 years ago. And he's just so fun to watch play too. He just got a fun style, and he hustles everything. He always goes for the extra bases, so he's just a fun player to watch. But yeah, I mean, he's uh he's always going to be an all-star, it seems like.
Yeah,
Kind of
I
like
mean,
Lindor.
kind of like Lindor. And I was surprised that Alex Bregman has an incredible year for the Red Sox. I think he's still injured, isn't he, Zach?
Yeah, he's out for a while. I think maybe September. Maybe he'll be back.
Yeah, yeah. So I think that was a good one. At designated hitter, Ryan O'Hearn from the Orioles, first starter selection or election for him. He beat out Ben Rice from the Yankees. Um,
Yeah, O'Hearn is going to be a big trade name that'll be popping up over the next 3 weeks here until the MLB trade deadline, the last day of July. Um, Orioles are going nowhere this season. O'Hearn, I think this is the last year of his deal, so you get him for 2 months. Um, he's been linked to the Mariners because the Mariners kind of need a corner infield bat, so we'll see where Ryan O'Hearn ends up. Hopefully, he can put on a little show here in the All Star game and boost his stock a little bit for the Orioles.
so if the Mariners are interested, the Tigers would be as well. Uh, let's go to the outfield. This is the one, obviously, as a Tigers fan, we're the most excited about. Aaron Judge was the obvious choice. And like we said earlier in this live stream on Big League Dreaming, a show about the starters from both the American League and the National League for the upcoming Midsummer Classic, July 15th at Truist Park in Atlanta. Aaron Judge, obviously, on the American League side, is the Shohei Otani comparison to the National League side. He's having a great year. He's cooled down a little bit, but he's still a player you don't want to face in the lineup when the game's on the line, right, Zach?
Oh, 100%. Um, he has 32 home runs right behind Cal Raleigh, and he's batting 365. Just unreal. The next closest is Jacob Wilson at 337. So he has almost 30-point lead on on first place for batting average. Um, yeah, his year this year is ridiculous again. Hopefully he can cool off a little bit and Cal Raleigh can make it a close choice for MVP this year.
Now the Tigers haven't had an outfield starter since 2007 when Maglio Ordonez was when he was sporting the flow there, right, Ty? But these
Yeah.
these next two starters for the American League are both Tigers, Riley Green and Javier Baez. I'll let you comment a little bit because you watch Riley Green coming up to the Tiger system, and you've known about Javier Baez forever. So give us your take on these two Tigers making the All Star selection.
Well, I'm really glad they're both in it. I'm glad Riley Green kind of turned it around. He had such a slow start early on. It didn't last too long, but I know it was kind of like, what is happening with Riley Green? So it's nice to see him turn it around. What's he at? I think he hit what, 20? He's at 20 home runs or something like that.
21, yeah.
So yeah, yeah, it's nice to see him becoming that player that everyone thought he could be. So it's nice to see him really was just so baffled pitches. Why are they paying him so much money? And then he moves to the outfield and he's an all-star. It's so fun to watch him play in the outfield too. I think he kind of needed that move too to the outfield because I think it gave him like uh just like a good switch up, like to have fun almost. It seems like he's having more fun in the outfield. It just seemed like he needed something to change to give him just a little bit of like change of pace or motivation or something. But he is so fun to watch play in the outfield.
Yeah, and I think too for Javi Baez because he started. This is his third start. What his first was at shortstop, second at second base. Now he's in the outfield. So that's pretty. That's a pretty incredible story to see that happen. So that is the outfield for the American League, and that's the starters, including the designated hitter. Overall, I mean, I think the American League will put up a decent fight against the National League, but it's always National League seems to be. I don't know. They seem to have an edge. I think we talked about this on the show earlier this season. You know, in the American League, it's Yankees, maybe the Tigers as the top two teams. Although the American League East is doing playing much better now, and where the National League, Zach has is just loaded with so many superstars and so many competitive teams, and you don't know who's going to come out of that.
Yeah, there's a lot of more. There's plenty more teams in the National League that are at that kind of upper tier across Major League Baseball. Whereas in the American League, you have the Detroit Tigers, and then who's going to step up? So for American League teams, kind of like those fringe teams, you know, Tampa Bay Rays, Toronto Blue Jays, Mariners, Red Sox, like it's a great thing for them because they have plenty of opportunity. Teams can come out of nowhere. Whereas National League, you kind of have like those top five power teams, and then behind them, there's not too much. So it'll be interesting. Who's going to win this All Star game? Typically, the American League always wins, but since the National League is so good right now, maybe the National League can get a win on that Tuesday.
All right, well, let's go to the starters for the National League. If I can call it up here, if I can share it. Um, oh, by the way, it was Mike Trout and Stephen Kwan from the Guardians that were runner ups as starters in the American League outfield. All right, National League. Will
Wow.
Smith at catcher was he out voted or got outlasted Carson Kelly with the Cubs, who is having a great year over there in Chicago. But Will Smith is his first selection, and he's having a great year.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he was kind of the clear pick there over Carson Kelly. Although Carson Kelly, kudos to him. I mean, having an awesome year with the Cubs, hitting some home runs.
Yeah,
Super excited for him and the Cubs.
Freddie Freeman at first base. I mean, Ty, you're probably not too happy about this. He edged out Pete Alonso, who's also having a great year.
Yeah, Pete Alonso's having an awesome year. I just hope to see Pete Alonso in the home run derby again. He needs to win it again.
Yeah, we haven't talked about home run derby yet, but
I think it was what was he in last year? I think.
yeah,
Didn't he get knocked out early last year? Yeah, I think he
I
did.
think he was.
But everybody was voting for Freddie Freeman over Alonso because they're excited to see him go back to Atlanta.
yeah, that's true. All the Braves fans are probably voting for Freddie Freeman for sure.
Yep.
At second base, Ketel Marte from the Diamondbacks. I'm not really, I don't really since we don't see a lot of Diamondbacks over here, in Michigan. Um, Zach, can you fill us in on Marte at all?
Oh yeah, Ketel Marte is a power hitting second baseman, very like Robinson Cano like. Um, he actually came up with the Mariners, and he was our starting shortstop for a few years, and he was not very good at all. Um, Kind of like a slender guy, more um, contact hitting guy. And then I don't know if they just released him or if they traded him. And then he goes to the Diamondbacks and he puts on all this weight and he just starts hitting like absolute bombs. Kind of like what Eugenio Suarez did.
I almost
Remember,
almost
yeah,
brought up his
remember
name. Yeah,
Suarez with the Whitecaps, how skinny he was when he
yeah.
came up with the Tigers. He's kind of like this quick little um, contact bat Latin guy, and then he put on all that weight, and now he can just crush home runs. So Marte, he's been he's been elite for the last like 3 years. Um, Very impressed with what he's done with his career. He's an extremely good player.
Two Dodgers Tommy Edman was the runner up there, and Mookie Betts was the runner up at shortstop. Ty Francisco Lindor from the Mets. It's his first starter election. Did we lose Ty? Zach, I don't see him on.
He was lagging a little bit every time he would talk, so I don't know if he left to come back in or what. He left at the wrong time.
I know,
Lindor's
right? We'll
up.
get up to his guy, but it's good to see Francisco Lindor getting some love and starting at shortstop. We'll have to get Ty back on to talk more about that. There he comes back in. Ty, how excited are you for Francisco Lindor to start at shortstop for the National League? I think he's still lagging. Can you hear him, Zach?
No, I can't hear him.
All right, Ty, we're gonna keep going, and if you come on, you come on. All right, buddy. Manny Machado's at third base from the Padres. It's his fourth starter election. This guy is, he's going to be there at the end, probably in Hall of Fame consideration down the road. What did you think, Zach?
Yeah, unfortunately. He just always kills like I remember going to that Dodgers series in 2018 in Seattle, and I think he hit like 3 home runs against the Mariners. Um, yeah, I mean he's just such a good player. He's a very smart player too. Like he's the guy that's gonna let the pop up drop um, so that he can get the quicker runner off base. He did that to Ellie De La Cruz. Just a routine pop up to him at third. Ellie De La Cruz, fastest man in baseball, is on first base. He lets the ball drop, throws it to second, force out at second, gets De La Cruz off the bases. Um, he's just that kind of player, man. He's a
Yeah,
little cocky, but
yeah,
he can back it up. He's a very good hitter, very good player.
and he's only 32 years old, so still got some career left in him. DH, no surprise here with Shohei Ohtani is his fifth year starter election. He will start for the National League at DH. In the outfield, we've got three interesting players: Ronald Acuna Jr., Pete Armstrong from the Cubs, and Kyle Tucker from the Cubs. Kyle Tucker, man, well, this is interesting. Kyle Tucker, who knows how it's going to happen, right? When they get traded and how it's all going to work out, but he's delivered for the Cubs, hasn't he, Zach?
Unfortunately, no. I mean, Kyle Tucker is an extremely good player. He is a free agent at the end of this year. The Cubs are already in talks with extending him to a massive contract. He's going to get paid a lot of money in the coming months, and he rightfully deserves it. He's an extremely good player. I love his game too, that he's not like a flashy player. Um, and it's just exciting to see. I know all the Cubs fans are in love with him. Hopefully they can keep him, and it's not a situation where like Soto, where he goes to the Yankees, plays 1 year for them, and then is out. So we'll see what happens. Very interested to see where Kyle Tucker ends up.
So you're saying the White Sox are not going to be in a bidding war for him?
The White Sox have a lot of issues going on with their player personnel, so we'll
Well,
see
I
where they go.
I think you would agree though. And I think we didn't Kyle Tucker hit a home run when we were at one of our games in 2023 on our little baseball trip, and like, oh no, Kyle Tucker's coming up the bat.
Yes, I believe it was a grand slam to take the lead when the Orioles were up by two, and was it the bottom of the ninth? It was either the bottom eighth or
Yeah,
bottom ninth.
bottom
Kyle
eighth.
Tucker hit a grand slam to take for Houston to take the lead by I think one, and of course it would be Tucker.
Of course, yeah. Pete Crow Armstrong, also a good story too, right? Getting his first starter election. He's helped make the Cubs what they are this year.
Yeah, kid has been crazy. Um, Dynamic and toolsy is what it says right there, as advertised, which is perfect for him. He is just so much fun to watch in the outfield. He has an elite glove out there. It feels like nothing drops if it's hit in the vicinity of him. He just flies all over the diamond, and that's kind of like been his staple. Like he's very good on defense, good on the bases. It was the question was how is he gonna do with the bat, and he's definitely broke out this year. So good for him.
Teoscar Hernandez, I know one of your favorite players, Zach, from his failed Mariner days.
Yeah.
Juan Soto and Pajes. Hey, there's Ty. How you doing, Ty?
I'm back.
Or the others that were in the contention as starters. All right, let me get out of the screen sharing. Or
Ty, what
am I?
did you think of Francisco Lindor being named starter?
Oh yeah. When I jumped back on, I was saying it's exciting to see him be the franchise player that he should be. He's just having a great year, like Alonso, and Soto's not a starter, right? But he's in the All Star game.
Yeah, he'll be in the game. He was one of the first couple out.
So Soto is he's starting to turn it around a little bit. He's having a couple home run games, and the thing I've noticed about Soto a lot is he gets a lot of walks. It seems like, but I think Soto is kind of starting out like how Lindor did. Lindor his first few, like maybe his first year or so with the Mets, he was kind of just getting like comfortable with the team, and he wasn't he played really good, but he was not playing as good as he is now. I think Soto's going to be kind of the same way. He's kind of just getting comfortable, and he's off to a slow start for Soto. But I think in a year or two, he's going to be playing kind of how Lindor is playing, kind of how they're expecting him to play, and kind of how they're paying him to play. So I think you'll see Soto kind of turn around, kind of how Lindor did.
Well, it looks like Zane is joining us from South Bend. Zane, can you get your camera turned around a little bit so we can see you?
I'm driving, so
Oh, okay. Well,
um,
if you want to
not
just
sure. Not sure if that's the best idea.
okay. Well, we will. Let's see.
I don't even know if my camera's on.
Your
Is my
camera's on,
camera
so
on?
I'm trying to. We're getting a good shot of your beard.
How do I turn it off?
It's off now. It's perfect. We can still hear you though.
There, you want me to do that?
Yep, that's perfect. Although you're sporting a nice beard there. All you guys have beards. Wait a minute. Hold on. What's going on here, Ty? You're just noticing. Yeah, I can't grow anything. So Zane, we just ran down the American League and the National League starters. I'm sure you've seen them already. Did you have any quick thoughts about either rosters? I didn't see any Red Sox players on there.
No, the Red Sox shouldn't have any. Other than Alex Bregman. I mean, but he got hurt, so he probably would have been in there. But no, I haven't really looked at the All Star lineups, the starting lineups much. So I don't even know who's got called starters. I think I saw there's what Baez got starting outfield. Was there any other Tigers that got starting spots, or was it just Baez? Gleyber Torres get a start?
Yeah, Gleyber Torres is starting at second base for the American League, and Riley Green also starting in the outfield for the American League from the Tigers. So yeah, we got three Tigers starters, which is unbelievable, and two in the outfield.
Yeah, I mean it should be interesting to see who ends up being the starting pitcher for the AL. Probably be Scooble, but it could be Crochet. We'll see.
Yeah, we haven't talked much about the starters yet, so I guess that's a good. Thanks for bringing that up, Zane. Scooble, Zach seems to be the logical choice in the American League, right?
Yeah, I think so. And Scooble pitches tomorrow, Sunday, July 6th. So 2, 3, 4, 5. That would make his next start Friday, July 11th. So he would have 1, 2, 3 days off before being able to pitch on Tuesday the 15th. So yes, that would line up for Scooball to be um, able to pitch on the All Star game. And Skeens also starts tomorrow too on Sunday the 6th. So Skeens would be in the same situation as Scooball as far as rest days go. So it could absolutely be Scooball versus Skeens.
Yeah, and you don't see a lot of year to year, back to back starters in the All Star game. But yeah, Skeens started last year, and I think the baseball world would love to see a Skeens Scooble matchup. Maybe kind of a, just these are superstars at the top of their game. So I'm kind of rooting for that. What about you, Ty?
Yeah, I was going to mention it's probably going to be Skeens and Scooble. Skeens is, I think his ERA is still under 1 right now, which is crazy for a starter to be under 1 ERA,
Yeah.
especially halfway through the season. So I feel like it has to be Skeens Scooble. Now, I know there was some rumors going around a couple months ago where the Tigers were going to try to get Skeens. Do you think the Pirates will get rid of him?
Yeah, I saw that rumor too. I mean, a lot of people were saying to get him and give Pittsburgh a boatload of prospects, proven prospects who now Tigers have some legitimate prospects there, and they've proven their prospects can play. I think that was just a rumor that just there's no way the Pittsburgh Pirates will trade Paul Skeens. There's just it's like the Tarek Skubal discussion last year. Remember that last year during trade deadline they were talking about trading Skubal for a
It's
boatload of
also
Yeah,
it's
prospects.
also like there's no way the Red Sox would trade Devers,
Right.
but they did.
They did.
but they did.
You're right. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Thoughts, Zach, about Skeens trade?
I think a Skeens trade is highly unlikely, but if it were to happen, it would take a whole lot more than just some prospects. The Pirates would want back at least two everyday major leaguers. So yes, you're going to give them Max Clark and McGonigal, but you're also going to give them Riley Green, Will Vest, and another position player. Like it would have to be like a massive package.
And then for a pitcher to blow out his arm, right, Zane, the next year?
Well, and they're gonna need guys that they'll have control over, like they have control over Skeens for the next however many years.
Yeah.
Like the package is just gonna be too much, and there's probably only a select few organizations that can do it. The Red Sox could probably pull it off with all their prospects and rookies that they have, but even then, none of them are to the caliber of Skeens.
Yeah, I think the pressure is on Pittsburgh to bring in prospects, and just I think the not just to keep saying the Tigers are great, but they've proven that if you just use your draft picks, draft wisely, develop the talent, you can be winners. You may not be you may not be a Dodgers or a Yankees, right, where you can go out and just spend, but you can develop a good roster and be competitive, and you never know these superstar teams could have an off year or a superstar gets injured and you're in the mix. So anything can happen. It's baseball. So I don't know, Zane. I know you were at the field there. Are kids excited about the All Star game like you guys when you were young and when you guys were running around the house here and we're playing ball in the backyard? I mean, we got excited about this time of year, right? The home run derby and everything. You were on probably kids more than any of us. How are young players excited about the game, or are they excited about the game in the All Stars?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's very hit or miss. I think it's consistent as it was like 5-10 years ago, where it's like, okay, it's the All Star break, like everyone's gonna go out and everyone's gonna be watching at least the start of the All Star game. I think nowadays it's just kids don't really care that much. They're just a lot of kids don't even watch baseball to begin with. Like they'll maybe turn it on and for an inning or so, but it's very rare that kids will sit down and watch a whole game. So yeah, it's very weird that like a lot of them consume their baseball through YouTube and highlights, just shorts and TikToks. That's kind of how the kids consume it nowadays. They don't really they're not very. I wouldn't say they're unable. It's just it's not convenient enough for them to sit down and watch a full game or sit down and watch a full All Star game, especially with all the subs and changes that there are. Like it doesn't give them that satisfaction right away that they're looking for in today's generation.
Yeah, no, that's a good take. There's a young guy that I work with back in Saginaw, and I'll see him in the morning, and I'm like, "Hey, big win for the Tigers." He goes, "Yeah, I haven't seen the highlights yet." He goes, I heard they won, but I haven't seen the highlights. And that's how he
Right.
consumes the games. I mean, he'll in the morning get up and he'll just watch that 3-4 minute recap, and he's caught up on the whole game. And he's not going to sit there and invest even 2.5 hours or 3 hours into watching play by play, inning by inning, pitch by pitch. And he just doesn't do it. He's got a young family, so it's just not part of his lifestyle. Where, for me, what else is there to do, right? I don't have to run around with kids or go to practice or anything like that. So it's just different mindset.
That's why
All
the
right,
Bananas are so big.
I know, right? That's why
They
that's
played on
happening.
ESPN last night.
I saw that. Why I didn't watch the game, but or do they call it a game or is it a production? What do they call it?
I think they call it a game. We missed it at the Whitecaps, Dad.
Yeah, I know.
It was there like I think the week that you were here.
Hmm.
That
Yeah,
Sunday, I think they played a whole series there.
yeah. I should have gone to at least a little bit of it.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's wrap things up here. Zane, thanks for joining us there from your car, and I know that you are busy with the fields and everything, but good luck there in South Bend. Zach, let's wrap this thing up. I know that I mentioned that I wanted to share with you an assignment that I want to give you when you are in Atlanta for All Star Weekend. All right, I'm going to share my screen because did you know? Did you know? And this
Cal
was
Raleigh in the home run derby.
that would be something, wouldn't it?
Look
He
for
is.
Cal's dad.
Oh yeah, you're right. Is he in it?
He is.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
there you go. Who else is in it so far?
Cunha.
And James Wood.
Oh, that's right, James Wood. James Wood, yeah. He hit one against the Tigers. I'm like, oh my gosh, that thing's still going. Um, all right, so when you're there, I would love for you to check out
So write this down.
MLB All Star Restaurant Week.
Whoa.
40 restaurants throughout the Atlanta area, July 9th through the 15th. Get your taste buds ready.
Oh man.
Wow.
So all these restaurants have baseball themed dishes that you can check out. I mean, there's a couple breweries, there's some pizzas there, but you can go through the website at discoveratlanta.com and they'll have each restaurant and what they're having on their menu. Check out like Twin Smokers Barbecue have the MVP burnt ends. Max
Yeah.
Cole Oven Pizzeria has the seventh inning stretch wings. I mean,
Okay.
I mean, just find one of these restaurants. Dos Bocas. That sounds a fried shrimp po' boy loaded with remoulade, pickles, lettuce, tomato, and a ballpark bun. Um, as you
There
can
we
see from
go.
this list, there's just so many great. Oh, and if you do to go to El Ponce, this Mexican restaurant, get me a shirt. I love that logo there. You know,
Okay.
this
Who is that?
I think it looks like Elvis.
Yeah, it looks like Elvis.
Yeah, it's a beloved Mexican cantina located on Ponce de Leon Avenue in Atlanta's Ponce Highland neighborhood, known for its scratch-made menu, signature margaritas, and dog-friendly patio. So yeah, just you'll see this. The website has all the meals that they're
Wow.
serving up and different things. So I know you're gonna have your girls with you, so maybe it won't be ideal for little kids, but find
I'll
maybe
pull
find
up the map. I'm sure they have like an interactive map and see
yeah.
which ones look closest to our hotel, and I'll do it that way. Because with that many restaurants, I'm sure it's spread out all across the entire city of Atlanta.
Yeah, I'm
And
sure.
the All Star stuff, Dad, it's just unreal. Like there's just so much going on. It's super. Like I had no idea about the restaurant week, and on Sunday morning, the day of the draft, they're having a 4.4 mile race for Hank Aaron 44. You can get up and run the 4.4 mile race. It's not around the ballpark. It's like down the road a little bit, but
Yeah.
there's just so many events going on the whole entire weekend. The All Star Village stuff is amazing. If we do go next year to Philadelphia and we do the All Star Village, you're gonna love it, Dad. I know you will.
Oh, Zane, you missed that at the beginning of the show. We talked about going to Philadelphia next year, 2026, for All Star Weekend. Put it on your calendar.
How far out do they have the next All Star games? They got what? Next year's in Philly, and then the year after that is it Cleveland?
I haven't heard. I was on the website this morning, obviously doing some research, and I just saw next year Philadelphia, but I haven't heard anything past that. We were speculating at the beginning of the show, Zane, that Comerica Park, Detroit, is due for one coming up soon.
20,
So
2027 will be, maybe this is the one we go to. Wrigley Field.
what?
Oh yeah, and then I wouldn't be surprised if Fenway's coming up soon because they haven't had it since like '99.
That would be cool too. So maybe we just make it an annual
I do
thing.
remember that. Hearing Wrigley is coming.
That would be cool. All right, guys. Well, that's it for today's show. Thanks for everyone tuning in to Big League Dream, the podcast. We appreciate it. Any final words from all three of the guys? We'll start with Zane. You excited? Are you gonna watch the home run derby? You gonna watch the All Star game? What's your plan for All Star weekend?
I will try my best. It just depends what my schedule's like. But who was the most random starter out of AL/NL? Since I missed that part.
That's a good question. Who would you guys say is the most random starter?
Like who's like the most like under the radar player? Like when people look back at the 2025 All-Star game, who's gonna be like, who the heck is that guy?
Jacob Wilson, shortstop for the Oakland Athletics. I mean,
Okay,
Sacramento
yeah.
Athletics. I mean, the Athletics.
Just the Athletics baseball
Just the
club.
Athletics baseball club.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jacob Wilson, rookie, high contact hitter. He never walks. He swings.
He torches
all of
balls,
the time, and he fouls everything off, and he crushes. He torches balls, and he never walks, and he doesn't really strike out. Kind of.
He's like Luis Ariz if Luis Ariz hit the ball hard.
Yes, and could run.
Yeah.
See, Zane, we need you on the show. That's great. That's a good take. Ty, anything you want to add about? You're probably looking forward to the home run derby too, right?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the home run derby, the draft. Who else is going to be in the home run derby? I'm guessing Otani and Judge will be in it, and hopefully, like I said earlier, Alonso
No
will be
shot.
in it.
Yeah, yeah.
Otani won't do it. There's no
They
way.
won't do it though.
You don't think so?
Judge might, but Otani won't.
Why not?
Otani's probably too worried about staying healthy just because he can actually pitch now.
That's true. Yeah. Zach, anything you want to wrap up before we go?
Yeah, I'm most excited to see the full rosters unveiled tomorrow. So tomorrow they will have all the pitchers on there, and I really hope they give Brian Wu an All Star selection this year. This would be his first selection. This is only his second year in the league. Well, 2.5. But he's one of my favorite pitchers to watch. Him and George Kirby. Speaking of George Kirby, he faces off against Paul Skeens tomorrow at 4 o'clock, Dad. You'll have to tune into that a little bit tomorrow. But yes, excited to see the full rosters unveiled tomorrow and see what kind of pitchers got into the game for the All-Star game.
Yeah, 5 p.m. on Sunday. That's tomorrow. ESPN, they will announce the full rosters for both the American League and the National League. I'm looking forward just to watching everything unfold. I'm looking forward to next weekend. I'll be at Comerica Park on Friday and Saturday. Hopefully, you guys will be, Zane and Ty will be able to join me at some point. Friday night should be fun. So Saturday afternoon game will be fun. And, we'll just tune in. And I'm also looking forward to the draft because we haven't talked about the draft yet. Hopefully, we have time to do a draft preview. I'm not sure we're going to run out of time, but I'm looking forward to it because you never know what's going to happen. And those are always fun times. So, all right, guys, thanks again for a fun show. Thanks, everyone, for joining us here on Big League Dream, the podcast, a live edition on a Saturday morning. All right, Ty, why don't you wrap us up here?
Yeah,
All
you
right,
can
brother.
check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your
Yeah,
podcasts,
man.
Big League Dreaming the podcast. And if you're watching the live stream here
Whatever
on
you need,
YouTube,
little bro. What
of course,
need?
you can subscribe to us on YouTube, Big League Dreaming the podcast. We usually come out with episodes on Saturdays, so stay tuned for the next one, and we will see you all for the second half of the season.
All right, take care, everyone. Have a great weekend.
See ya.
Happy 4th.
Happy 4th.